It's time for Dart Talk. Brought to you by TheDartZone.com. Stay in the zone. TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor and Windy City Fabricators, America's premier fabricators of orthotics and prosthetics. And Redwood Darts, America's newest tungsten darts. Stand straight and tall and hit them all. Redwood Darts. And now, here are your hosts, Mystery Mark and Steve P.
Okay, welcome to Dart Talk.
Welcome. And if you couldn't tell by the hats,
Happy
Happy
New Year.
Year.
January 2nd,
Yes, it is.
2014.
Our first show of the new year.
Episode 1
Yes.
of 2014. Steve Pontielman with Mystery Mark, brought to you by The Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks, Windy City Fabricators and Redwood Darts. Right off the bat, happy anniversary to you.
Thank you.
You've
Thank
now
you.
completed you've completed 2 years
I know.
of doing
It's crazy,
this show.
isn't it?
Did
Seems
you-
like I just started yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, I just kind of asked you one
I'm sure
day,
that's what
"Hey,
everybody
you
else
wanna-"
is saying, too. Boy, that guy just started yesterday.
Did you ever think you'd be doing this 2 years?
I never thought I'd be doing it for 2 days.
So I'm going to have 3 years in the summer,
Yeah,
3 years in June. I never thought I'd be doing this 3 years. I'll tell you that.
it's good.
So we've still got people listening. I see one guy in the chat room I haven't seen in a while. Hi, Jason. So anyway, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Happy
Appreciate
New
it.
Year. We've got a lot to get to. We'll wrap up the PDC.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk a little Premier League, and you can tell me what you think of James Wade and Justin Pipe. I mean, pretty much everybody knows what I think on that. We'll announce our Darter of the Year.
Yes.
We're probably not going to have time to get to the Jack Wagon of the Year, so we'll save that for next week. But we have a special guest.
Nice.
Last
is?
week we named our Performance of the Year.
Yeah.
Our Dart Performance of the Year. We gave it to the Sweeper. We even gave him a nickname.
Right.
Tim Adams from, I think, somewhere around Tampa, Florida, swept every event, I believe, at the Glen Silva. And we decided that was the Performance of the Year, even though there were a lot of, outstanding performances
Right.
throughout the year.
That was our choice.
And he was kind enough to join us on the show, so maybe we can get him on here. Tim, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Do you want to run a disclaimer before anybody else speaks?
Hold that thought. Tim.
The views and opinions expressed on Dart Talk are those of the hosts. They in no way should be misrepresented, misinterpreted, or made to claim that the universe is against you, your family, your city, or the darting community at large.
Okay, different disclaimer than we normally
It's
use, but it's pretty
good
much
enough.
the same.
Yeah.
The same intent. How are you, Tim?
I'm great. How are y'all guys?
Good.
Good. We got half a foot of snow today, so it's been kind of an adventure in
Half a
Chicago
foot?
anyway.
Well,
6
just
inches?
today. Yes.
Yeah, today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
We have,
sucks. We're gonna be in a low of about 55 tomorrow.
Nice. We have like a total of 14 inches on the ground plus more coming over the last 2
Wow.
days.
There's more coming.
Oh yeah, Saturday.
Really?
Oh yeah. They have
Great.
18 inches up in Gurnee and Libertyville, and
18 inches.
yeah, yeah. And
Wow.
then the East is going to get hit worse than us.
Okay. Is Philly at home? They're gonna have to play.
Yeah, yeah.
They're gonna have to play New Orleans outdoors in the snow.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll never hear the end of it from Williston. Anyway, congratulations. Anyway, first off, Tim, you've got our reject football coach. You'll like him.
Yeah, and
You'll
first
like
of all,
Lovie
real
Smith.
quick,
Yeah.
Smitty180 says hello to Tim.
Yeah. Tell Jason hello. That's my partner.
Jason's your partner?
Yeah.
He's not
When we were
like-
down here, he when he was down here, we played together. Absolutely.
Oh, it's not like he's parked outside your house right now. Okay.
No,
not that kind of partner.
he's up in Massachusetts. That's
Yeah,
why I say partner.
Okay, well, he says hi. Anyway, first off, congratulations on winning the performance of the year. To be honest, we were pretty astounded. When we read the results on the show, I think Gordon Dixon was in the chat room, and he pointed out that you were the guy he had met the year before that was an ex-sniper. Is that true?
Correct.
So he seemed to think that because you were a sniper, darts were like no problem at all.
It's not that it's not a problem, but I don't believe it's life or death. I'm not like one of those players that I've got to make this shot or it's the end of me. I play this game for fun, and that's what it should be.
Nice. Okay. Well, we were talking a little bit before. I'm assuming most people don't know that much about you, so let's fill in some of the blanks. You're ex-military. You live in Florida. You play darts for fun. What else can you tell us?
I've been playing this since I was in the military. I was in Colorado when I picked up my darts back in I believe 95. I played steel, as that's all there was in Colorado, and I've been, when I re-enlisted, I went to Georgia, and that's where I actually found soft tip because they didn't have steel. I've been playing ever since. When I got out of the military in 97, moved back to Florida, and I wasn't out of it 3 weeks when I found a place and just kept playing darts since then.
Nice. Well, give us a typical dart week for you. Like you play league, blind draws, you practice at home. What's a typical dart week like for you?
Actually, if you've taken this month, I haven't hardly played any darts at all. My dart boards are in, me and my wife, we live in a nice 2-bedroom apartment, and where we keep the Christmas tree up, that's actually where I have my 2 dart boards. So unfortunately, I haven't got to practice pretty much this month, or last month.
Why do you need 2?
I'm not playing any leagues right now.
Okay. You were interrupted there by our erstwhile co-host.
Why do you need 2 dartboards?
Oh, I have a soft and a steel.
Oh, okay.
I have a full-size soft dartboard and a steel dartboard.
Do you have the entire soft tip machine or just like the board? Like
Correct.
The face of the board?
I have a Valley Cougar full-size dartboard.
So that's like circa 1990? Is that the old
somewhere
one?
in there? Correct.
Okay.
I don't need a one that does all the elaborates to practice on. I can head out to other places to do that.
Sure. Okay, so your Christmas treat usurped your dart space, but let's say what was it like, say, in October before you put all the decorations up?
Oh, in October, I was playing, quite regularly. I try to keep my leagues down to a minimum so I can spend as much time with the family, especially my wife. She plays usually 1 or 2 leagues. I usually try to keep it to 2 leagues. But I try to practice as much as I can. I like to put a couple hours every day when I get home on the board.
Okay, what kind of practice routines you got going there?
I mostly play steel. I've been my cricket game has been something that's been strong with me for a while. My 0-1 game is the one I've really worked on. This past year it's really stepped up. I play a lot of 121. I play a lot of 501 by myself, but I try to keep it to 15 darts or less if I can. That's what I really practice on.
So what happens when you get to 16 darts? You just start over?
I'll still take out the game, but I'll make sure my next game is a lot better.
Okay. 121 for people that don't know. You want to explain 121?
Oh yeah, 121 is you start with 121. You've got 9 darts to take it out. Once you take out the 121, you go to your next number, 122. your ideal is to take it out in 3 darts. You take it out in 3 darts. If you bust, you go back to the number that you took out in 3 darts. Um, you got to do it in 9. Once you don't do it in 9, you bust all the way back down to 121 unless you've had a 3 dart shot.
Right. It's pretty much what we kind of do on the road. You get 2 or 3 guys, and everybody takes a turn. And you know, generally, what's a good session for you? Like how far
Good
do you get
session.
usually?
Lately, I've been getting to about 141, 142, right in that area before I bust.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's very
That's
good.
pretty good.
Yeah.
So you said you normally practice steel, but you have a soft board there. You just like hit the soft tip before you go out to play soft tip, or do you try to switch it off? How does that work?
I play soft tip. I usually hit the soft tip board if I've got like a big soft tip tournament coming up. But even if I go out and play like a blind draw, local blind draw or something like that, I'll still hit that steel board. I've got both of my darts set up the exact same length of shaft, same flights. The weight difference is just a little bit different, but but they're set up the same. So my throw is absolutely identical for both.
Nice. I'd have to think that that's pretty helpful. What kind of darts do you use?
Actually, to be honest with you, I don't use. Well, I take that back. My soft tips I bought a little over a year ago. I'm using some Tony O'Shea's that I bought 18 gram. But my steels are basically just a standard blank set that I had made locally. Actually, when he was alive, Jim Bone had made me my darts from Atlanta Darts, and I carry the same style of darts over with me. I just usually have someone locally here that makes them for me.
Nice. Okay. You might check into Redwood Darts
There you go.
if you're looking to make a
When
change.
you said that your wife plays a couple nights a week, was your wife a darter before you met her, or did she get interested in darts after you guys got together?
Actually, when we met, I just got done playing a big blind draw locally at a place that we used to play here. And she had walked in with a friend of hers afterwards, and I didn't know she played darts, but she did collectively play a little bit of darts, and now I think she plays a lot more.
I get the impression that you're kind of, down on league compared to maybe how you were like 10 years ago or something like that. Is that because, as your skill levels progressed, you've gotten less out of league, or is it some other reason?
I'm not, well, it's hard to say. I'm not down on league. My leagues that I play are steel. I enjoy the steel leagues, and it's actually very, very good leagues that we've actually gotten going here, especially in the Brandon Area Dart Association. The Monday night leagues have gotten built up quite well. We've got it where we got 4 divisions now. But the one I enjoy the most is my Thursday night singles league. They do a what they call a 180 league. It's they take the top 10 guys in the area, and we get to shoot a singles league every night. It's the best of 9, and you play two legs in that night.
You play 2 best of 9 matches a night.
Correct.
Right, and then do you chalk one?
Well, they got 10 guys. We got 5 boards. They're all throwing, so you chalk your own match.
Chalk and walk. Nice.
Yep.
I tried to get that going here. I couldn't find 10 guys. I couldn't find like
This is
3
true.
guys that would
Right.
come out on a Monday night
Yeah.
if they knew I was playing, because I'm apparently too tall now for people. So you'll have to come up to Chicago.
Okay.
2014. What do you got going? What are your plans? Dart wise for the year. You got any ambitious goals that you've set for yourself? Anything like that?
My goals are just to keep enjoying the game that I love to play. Last year was phenomenal with the people that I've met. Some of them I met last year. Some I met the year before, towards the end when I started really getting out and going. And I just want to just keep that going, keep meeting new people, keep increasing my ability in this game. I love to go out and play the game, and I just want to hang out with friends and shoot darts.
Nice.
Was there a point? So since we, the most outstanding performance, we're astounded that you swept every event. Was there a point where you realized that I'm winning, I've won again, and I'm gonna, if I make it to the final, I can win again? Or were you just playing and you just didn't realize it?
Somebody must have pointed it out to him.
That's what I'm saying. Or did you not care? Or you were just throwing so well? I mean, did it matter?
Oh, it really doesn't matter. And actually, to be honest with you guys, I didn't sweep every event. I actually lost one.
What?
And,
Oh,
lost one.
No.
I lost one of my singles cricket to Pat
No,
Hewitt.
you can't say that on the air. Then it
Uh-oh.
makes
I'm
us
not-
look
I'm not
like
gonna
we
take
made a
credit for something I didn't
mistake.
do.
Oh, well, you're an honest man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, actually, Pat Hewitt got me in singles cricket and wound up beating Gary Mawson in the finals.
Well, Pat got a
but
lot
that
of
was
people.
the very last event. I had swept 5 out of 5 until that event.
Okay.
Do we got to take the award back?
Yeah, we
now?
might have to. You might just have talked yourself out of the award.
That's all right.
Hey,
Anyway.
if that happens, that happens.
This
I'm
is
not in it
no,
for
no,
the
no.
awards. I just love playing
You
the
could
game.
keep it. I mean, this is what happens when you're working with unpaid interns.
Exactly.
You don't fire in time. you get stuff wrong. It was still pretty. It was still a pretty impressive achievement considering the level of talent that you had there.
Correct. Yes.
So
And actually, I know 4 of the events that I won, the people that I played. I mean, one of the events I wound up playing Sheldon Lionel in the finals, who is, I mean,
great player.
just an amazing dart player.
Yeah.
And then Norman Madu, and I played him in 2 I know of. One of the mixed doubles and men's doubles. I played him and Dave Travers in the finals. And then the one that I played him in the finals, I had me and John Beard, my men's doubles partner, had beat Gary Mawson and Joe Sliven, and then we played them in the other finals. So yeah, there was a lot of talent there.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've always heard about Florida is you have all these good players, but they don't really play outside Florida much. So,
No, it's because Florida is such a huge travel area. I mean, you wind up paying a lot of money just to travel in the state.
Oh, because it's like Texas. There's so much in-state stuff that's so far
Correct.
apart. Is that
Yep.
what you mean?
Exactly. And I bet probably California is a lot of like that too.
Yeah, in California, I don't think they even bother. They don't travel
No.
anywhere. They don't got anything going. Like they don't have
And I
like the
know-
state
Yeah, but-
organization
right.
you guys have. They don't have like you guys have this whole state. Are you involved with that? Like kind of the statewide tournament that they have with the different leagues and stuff like that.
Yeah, the state team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
so you
I,
don't need to
this
spend
year-
any more money to go anywhere else. You're already
Well, that's not really money. I mean, you pay your dues to your leagues, but then all the leagues just get all the associations get together and play. Just it's 2 weekends and you play it out. I mean, there's not really a lot of money. You get money if you're in the top like 5 to 7 places, which the team I was on this year we took 3rd.
Yeah, I think he's talking about the amount, the
travel.
expenses
Right.
that you incur. Playing
Oh
around
yeah,
in the state.
yeah. You're gonna spend a lot more than you make. So.
Yeah.
It's there for fun, and it's there just to compete against friends and the other associations, because I mean a lot of them you don't even see even at regular tournaments. So this is to get together and try to get more dart players there in one room just to play.
Well, it sounds great. I know Carolina does something, Ohio does something, Illinois, of course, does nothing.
of course.
So we're jealous. But we're going to move on. Thanks for letting us know that we failed miserably. But
Yes.
Congratulations on winning Performance of the Year.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll talk to you soon. We'll be in Tampa in July for the
Yes.
Caribbean Cup, so maybe we can. We'll see you there.
Well, I know I'll be in Vegas in January.
I know I won't be, but
Oh,
good-
you won't be.
good-
I will be though.
Oh, good. Okay.
In
Well,
January.
yeah, the Vegas Classic.
Oh.
Yep,
Like, the
Vegas Classic,
44
January
per-
24th through 26th, I believe.
Nothing like that 45% payout. of the entry fees
Right,
and the singles.
right.
That's why I don't go. But anyway, okay. Well, good luck in Vegas, and check back with us, and we'll be talking to you soon, probably in a couple of weeks, about this Players Challenge match with Gary Mawson at the Space Coast.
Absolutely.
So we'll talk a little bit about that in a not too distant future.
Okay.
And then, did you want to shout out to your sponsor before you go?
Oh, absolutely. I'd like to give a huge shout out to Dart Universe. Tony Janae has been absolutely phenomenal in Florida, and actually he's now reaching out of Florida to help out a lot of places. Him and Stacy have done a wonderful job. They've helped me get to where I am, been a great sponsor for us. And the players that he's got on his I guess you want to call roster is just phenomenal. With Shea Reynolds and Paula Murphy, and especially my men's doubles partner John Beard.
I know
he's
John,
done
good
an
guy.
Outstanding job at what he's done.
John's always been one of my favorites. For the people that just tuned in, Tim Adams, thanks for coming by. Dart Talks 2013
Yes.
Performer of the Year.
Congratulations again.
And
Thank you.
just since you're not in the chat, you don't know, Jason Smith is hitting on your wife in the chat room,
Yes.
saying that she's awesome and beautiful or something. So you need to have a chat with him.
I will.
Thanks for stopping in, Tim. All the best.
Thank you.
All right. You're listening to Dart Talk with Mark and Steve, and we'll be back after this. Won't take long.
Dart Talk agrees to adhere to the Geneva Convention in treating fairly its prisoners in their war against lackluster darting administration and behaviour.
Okay, back for the second quarter.
Yep.
Brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks, Windy City Fabricators, Redwood Darts, and Tim Adams, who was just on the show.
Thank you to
The
him.
Sweeper,
The sweeper.
kind enough to...
Whether his
Stop
wife
by.
likes the nickname or not, that's it.
Yeah, are we hanging that on him, like singing
Yeah.
in the rain?
It's our choice.
The Sweeper. It's a good nickname.
I like it.
I mean, I don't know. He may as well grab it before somebody unworthy takes it. I mean, you never know who's going to call themselves whatever these days. So,
Right.
I don't know. I thought it was a good nickname up until the point where,
he didn't sweep.
he didn't sweep. I can't believe we got that wrong. Where's the intern to fire? I don't know. Anyway, let's talk some PDC. I don't know how
Okay.
much of it you had a chance to watch. Our brackets got like steadily more and more deplorable.
Football got in the way for me, so I didn't get a chance to watch much. Especially since
Football.
Nebraska was playing during the finals.
I don't even know what to say about that. Let's run through the results because there are people that probably did not get to watch every single match. And
Okay.
Of course, we took one from the team. So since we hang
We
on.
last left off.
Since we last
Last
left off, the first match was Devin Peterson
And you
beating
beat Justin
Pipe.
Pipe. Right.
And Devin Peterson played.
Did you get to watch that? I did
Yeah,
not.
I did. And to be honest with you, Devin Peterson played good, and probably for Devin Peterson played about as well as he expected to play, or as well as he thought he could play. Justin Pipe just seemed like another one of these guys that they look so uncomfortable, and they look so, I don't know if it's the pressure of playing in the World Championships, but there's a bunch of guys that really did not play anywhere near as well as you would expect them to play, and Justin Pipe was one of them. And we'll talk about the Premier League in a little bit, but, watching the Justin Pipe match, I wanted to jump out of my chair. I mean, look, guys play at whatever pace is comfortable for them. It's your right as a darter to play at, the pace that you need to play at.
Sure.
But, you talk about making somebody reach for the remote control. To stand there and watch Justin Pipe just motionless for 5, 6, 7 seconds before he throws a 5, no. It's not watchable. It's not watchable.
Well,
there's no
no,
way on earth.
but-
There's no way on earth you can have him in the Premier League without there being all sorts of issues with the crowd. And
Just like any other sport, though. If he was successful, then
he
it's
is successful. He's a great
but it's-
player. I'm not saying the guy's not a great player. Just like I was kind of, I don't know where I was ripping on Andy Hamilton. I just don't like watching the guy play.
Right.
I don't like watching him
Well,
play.
that
I'm not
goes
saying he's
around in
not a
other
great
sports
player.
that people are like, well, I don't like that team, and I don't like this team, and I don't like that.
It's like, there's a lot of Yankee haters.
Of course.
But if you watch a Yankee game, these guys step out of the batter's box after every pitch. How are you supposed to get in a rhythm when you do that? And these guys futzing around like Nomar used to do. Futz with your glove and do that before every single pitch. You got to be kidding me. What is that?
Other than a little bit ridiculous, yeah, it's crazy.
Well,
But-
it's like I used to like watching Greg Maddux pitch.
Right.
And he'll probably be first ballot Hall of Famer this year, right? His games were like 2 hours long. He gets the ball and he throws it.
yeah.
It has a rhythm to it. Some of these Yankee games last few years, what rhythm?
Oh,
you're
no,
just
well, not only
watching
that,
guys. It's not watchable. But we're going to talk about that. I want to talk about the Premier League, and I want to talk about what's watchable, what isn't watchable, what's desirable, what should be avoided, and stuff like that. And Justin Pipe's at the top of the list. He's a great player.
Right.
I'm the first one to tell you the guy's a great player.
But he lost. So.
He didn't lose.
Oh.
He didn't even show up. Devin Peterson did what he should do. He took advantage of whatever opportunities he had, and Pipe is one of these guys that it's the World Championship, and all of a sudden he doesn't know how to hit a double. It's plain and simple. Guy underachieved. He'd be the first to admit it. I'm not breaking any news here. Anyway, so that
All right,
match
then-
was just sort of painful to watch. What was next?
Start the third round. Wes Newton beat Robert Thornton 4-1.
Yeah, and this was a match that really, I thought was going to be way better than it was. Robert Thornton was grimacing after his first 3 darts. He was never really into it. He never got into the flow. And I think the match that he had played before, where he was just kind of throwing his darts and he was feeling ill and everything was just kind of going in. I think it was against Bo Anderson. I don't think that prepped him for a match with Wes Newton, and he just played horrible. He just played horrible, and Wes, to his credit, got it over with quick. But it wasn't really anything at all remarkable about that match except, wow, this guy's playing really bad.
Yeah.
Who's next? Kind of thing. So
Okay.
there wasn't a whole lot.
All
There
right.
wasn't a whole lot there. After that was a great match, was Ian White and Richie Burnett.
Yeah.
And, Richie Burnett, the crowd likes him. He gets on with it. He's an experienced player. I guess he won something in the 90s, which a lot of people did.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if he won Lakeside. I don't know what he won, but I wasn't around then. But he's got a great way of delivering. He's got a great way of holding a dart. He looks great, and then right at the end, sometimes he just does this like he has a spasm in the middle of his spine, and his arm goes one way, his head goes one way, and then it goes in the trip 20. I don't know how the guy does
But
it.
it still works.
Now, he played great. That was a great match. You had 2 really, really good players, and Ian White was really like, I thought Ian White won this match by losing a set.
Interesting. All
So
right.
here's the deal.
Please explain.
The deal was Richie Burnett was ahead,
Yeah.
and I thought he was starting to get tired.
Who?
Right.
Richie?
Richie Burnett. I
Okay.
thought he was starting to get tired. I'm trying to think if he was up 3-0 in a race to 4 sets or something. So Ian White is ahead in this set, and Richie Burnett is kind of like, he's not obvious about it, but he's kind of chucking his darts and he's waiting for the next set. He's like, this set's over. And then Ian White starts missing. So then Richie Burnett starts missing. And so Ian White ended up winning the set, but
He made him throw a lot more darts.
not only did it make him throw more darts, but it appeared to me that it was like mentally draining Richie because he was getting like frustrated that he was still playing in a set that he had
knew he
already
was gonna
written
lose,
off,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he wasn't playing anywhere near well enough to win it. It was just enough to annoy him and tire him out even more. And then, come the next set, he's got nothing. And Ian White just blew right by him. And I was kind of like thinking to myself, because I'm always looking for new stuff, right? I'm kind of thinking, well, now that's interesting because, the World Championships of all the PDC tournaments that you'll see over the year is more about stamina than anything else. And it's not just physical stamina because, the sheer act of throwing a dart is not generally like, running a marathon.
Excruciatingly
that kind
tiring.
of stamina. But mentally it's tiring. And some of these guys, you could just sort of tell, these guys that throw really, really fast don't really have time to think. And when they do have time to think,
So you
things
think
don't
he
always
actually
work
pulled
out
like
so
a
well.
coaching move on him?
I don't think it was deliberate. I just think it worked out in his favor, and I
Okay.
kind of filed it away as like an interesting thing to
start
be on the
missing on
lookout for.
purpose?
No. Well, no, no. It's something though that I'm kind of going to be on the lookout for more often. Is when guys don't finish things cleanly and yet still win. How annoying that is to their opponent.
Okay.
Like some of the guys that we're talking about how it's really
annoying
annoying when a guy's on 40 and he ends up hitting double 5.
How annoying is it to you when that happens?
Doesn't bother me at all.
Okay.
I mean, but I have a good attitude. My attitude is like, ooh, practice starts. Let's dial it in for the next set. Richie Burnett doesn't need practice starts. Richie Burnett wanted to get on with it. He wanted to win. And I don't know. Mentally, it looked like things were snowballing. And I just found this like an interesting, and I was like, I got to say this on the show because wasn't like they said it in the booth or anything, but I thought it was fairly obvious. So, okay, what's next?
And you got Simon Whitlock beating Kevin Painter 4-zip.
Simon Whitlock beating Kevin Painter 4-zip. Painter was another guy. I mean, I don't know what these guys are doing. You got a long layoff in between matches. It's the only tournament I can think of where it's almost like 3 different tournaments because after the first round, you may wait a week. And then
Right.
between the second and third round, you may wait 4 or 5 days. The same player isn't showing up for the next round all the time. Obviously, like Wes Newton was consistent. Simon Whitlock was just rolling along. I think up to this point, he hadn't dropped a set. So it was just sort of like, geez, Kevin, really? So I like Kevin Painter. I mean, I would have liked to have seen, a much more competitive match than it turned
Right.
out to be. And, sometimes the score line isn't always indicative of how close it was. But after 2 legs, I was just like, there's absolutely no way on earth Whitlock can lose this. Unless, his
you were
arm falls
correct.
off or something. In that case.
Do you want to continue on, or would you like to take a break?
Is it time to take a break? We'll take a break and we'll come back with what? Oh, yeah, Peter Wright and Michael Smith. Pretty much the match of the tournament. You listen to Dart Talk with Steve Financielman, Mystery Mark. We'll be right back.
You are now and forevermore warned that you consume this show at your own risk, and that Dart Talk cannot be brought to justice in any court or by any government, including and not restricted to the grand spaghetti monster of the Triple 20.
Okay, back for the second half, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
DartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks, Windy City Fabricators, Redwood Darts. We're talking PDC. We're doing a PDC wrap-up.
And you say match of the tournament.
By
possibly.
far, match of the tournament. Michael Smith.
Peter Wright.
Reigning youth champion.
Mm-hmm.
Nickname Bully Boy. Apt nickname. He kind of looks like a bully. Kind of the way he walks. He was doing this weird thing where he was kind of doing like this all the time. I assume that meant heart. But all I could think of it looked like that Anastasia date.com or something, which I have no idea what that site is. But I don't know.
Okay, hold on. Apparently, you know something about it because I have
because they have
absolutely no idea.
commercials. They have commercials
Oh,
on TV. I have no idea what it is, and I'm not interested.
But they
I'm
have
taken.
this.
He was doing this.
Oh, okay.
Like all the time, and I assume that meant, "Ooh, I have heart" or something like that. Which I'm pretty sure everybody does, but some more than most.
He just liked to show it more.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Peter Wright played him, and it was by far the most compelling match, if not of the tournament, at least up to this point. And I
More
I
compelling
like Peter.
than Smith beating Taylor.
Yeah. Because Smith beating Taylor was a matter of, like, when's Taylor going to show up? When is Taylor going to, and I think I posted something somewhere about what happens when you reach back and there's nothing there? Because Taylor blitzed him the first set and then fell asleep, fell behind, and now he's trying to get back. And instead of 12 darters, he's on 13 darters, and they're not good enough because this kid played so good. He shot his last 4 legs and 50 darts. That's 12 and a half darts a
That's
leg.
awesome.
I mean, that's tough to beat if you time it right. If the 12s are on his throw and the 14s are on your throw, you're awfully hard to beat. You need 12 darters to win. And to Peter Wright's credit, I mean, he hung in there and just played solid, consistent 15 dart and under games for the entire match, and he ended up pulling it out.
Right.
Crucial doubles at the right time, which would not be at the right time, is no pun intended, would not be the only time in the tournament that he did this. But I watched Michael, is it Smith?
Yes.
Yeah, I watched Michael Smith about as closely as you could watch somebody, and I watched Van Gerwen very, very closely. And what I wanted to do was pull a video and tell you why I think these guys are so good. So maybe if we have time at the end of the show, I will kind of share with you what I was thinking, and you guys can, for what it's worth, kind of analysis sort of thing. Anyway, that was a great match.
Right.
Peter Wright pulled it out. We're efforting Peter Wright. I'm going to try to get Peter on the show next week. I don't know if we'll be able to. But
kudos
we'll try.
about Smith, though. I mean, you're talking, you beat Phil Taylor and you go through an epic match.
And he loses to a guy that basically made the final.
And the guy's 21.
Yeah. 21 going on 41.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a pretty impressive display, and I'm sure the guy was gutted that he didn't win.
Sure.
But he'll be back.
Right.
He'll be back. And, it's kind of funny. I wanted to put a graphic together. Here's all the stuff I didn't have time to do, everybody. There was a show on HBO called Deadwood.
Yes.
Remember, great show. Great show. And I was going to get a Deadwood thing and put all the pictures of all the guys that are now officially Deadwood because they're falling out of the top 32, like Mark Walsh and Dennis Ovens. And we'll have to look at see who else is on the Deadwood list now. I mean, there's a lot of them. There was, Carnage was not the word for this tournament.
Right.
What was next? What do we
Mark
got
Webster
next?
beat Raymond Van Barneveld 4-3.
Yeah. For RVB fans, this was probably as disgusting and painful a match as you were likely to see because, Raymond pretty much had this match in the bag and kind of let it slip away, and it was maybe 3 matches in a row where Webster should have lost. And then the further behind he gets, the better he plays. And then his opponents start sloughing off, and he ends up, exceeding them right up to the point where he was like literally demolished on stage.
Really?
Oh, we'll get to that. But
Okay.
this match was more about how Barney failed to play up to his level than it was, some great comeback by Webster, I didn't think. I mean, Webster played good, and toward the end he played his best darts of the match, but this was Raymond's for the taking, and Raymond apparently didn't want it, which, people calling Raymond a quitter and stuff like that. I mean, it with some guys, it's a little more obvious when they start losing it mentally, and Raymond's one of these guys. You can kind of tell when Raymond's lost it mentally. And he certainly lost
the
it.
towel's been thrown in.
Oh my gosh! I mean, it's painful to see because I like watching Raymond throw. He's got this silky, butter Ernie Els stroke, and you wonder how the guy ever misses. And then you watch him start throwing fives and blow doubles and this and that, and then the look on his face is like, "Oh my God, it's happening again." I mean, it's painful.
It's painful.
It's painful to watch.
Right.
Anyway, Adrian Lewis and Mervyn King. I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, Adrian Lewis went through him like
Hot knife
Sherman
through butter.
went through Georgia. I mean, it was just sort of like bada bing, bada boom. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't belong on the same stage as me. And to be honest, I was surprised because Mervyn had played so well. He was one of the guys that, you look at the early rounds and saying, well, if he sustains this, he's going to make the Final Four for sure. And it's going to take like a stellar performance to beat him. And Lewis played good, but I mean, by the end of the match, Mervyn King's convinced that he doesn't belong on the same board as
Right.
Adrian Lewis. I mean, which would happen to Adrian later. So I mean, that match was just sort of like
Spoiler alert.
No need to see the replay on that one.
James Wade waxes Devin Peterson.
Yeah, Devin Peterson kind of like.
Didn't show.
To be honest, and I'm going to say this, and people aren't going to like it, Devin Peterson reminded me of Johnny Kay. When Johnny Kay made the top 16, and I believe it was like at one point he and his opponent were both missing doubles, and finally somebody hit I think Johnny Kay hit double one and dropped to his knees and raised his arms like hallelujah, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on here, but you've hit double one before.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was just sort of like, I'm happy to be here. I've got this big smile on my face, but I have no expectation of beating this guy. And, it was a self-fulfilling prophecy because, he didn't come close to beating Wade, and Wade didn't even look interested in playing. I mean, Wade has got this look on his face the last 6 months where it's like he doesn't want to be there. He just doesn't look like he wants
Right.
to be there. I mean, he tries and, he plays well and he concentrates. It's not like he's dumping. He just
But he
doesn't
could
strike
care
me.
less.
No, he looks like a very unhappy guy. And whatever, issues he's got. I mean, if you don't enjoy playing, nobody's going to enjoy watching you.
Right.
And I don't really enjoy watching him. All the way to last year when they had this like massive draft and they stopped the match when he was absolutely drumming Adrian Lewis right out of the tournament. I mean, Adrian Lewis was done. I mean, the thing was over. All you need to do win a couple of legs, and falling apart like that. I don't believe he's recovered. I really don't mentally, and maybe he never will. I mean, I don't know. He's been dropping. He's going to drop some more. I mean, we'll kind of see what happens.
Right.
Now
this
match just made me ill.
Ed Gerwin against Gary Anderson winning 4-3.
Yeah. Van Gerwen,
Why did this make you ill?
Because Gary Anderson had this match, and Van
Really?
Gerwen, to his credit, Anderson got ahead. I want to say it was ahead 3-1, and Van Gerwen came out of the break and absolutely just started playing the kind of darts that everyone expected Michael Van Gerwen to be throwing, and he really hadn't done it in a sustained manner. He'd have a good set and fall asleep, and he didn't have to play that good to get as far as he had. But playing Gary Anderson was playing great, just playing great. He was hitting his doubles, he was scoring, and he was making mincemeat of the guy. And then the minute he had the match in his hand, 12 darts without a triple. I mean, he just couldn't close the deal.
Yeah.
And he is gonna. He's going to be kicking himself about this match far more than he will, the matches he lost in the last couple, because he had this one. And to Van Gerwen's credit, Van Gerwen was like, I'm not going down like this, right? Comes out of the break and just literally just starts raining darts into the triple. I mean, just played great. Just played like a champion. And
Do you think that had any effect?
On Anderson?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of weird. I mean, it's like, you're cruising along and with no opposition, and all of a sudden the guy's just throwing like 11, 12 darters left and right, and it's like, yeah, it's going to have an effect on you. But all you have to do is throw 15 darters, which you've been doing the whole match. I mean, don't stop now.
Right.
Don't stop when you're a leg away from winning, and all you got to do is hold your throw. You're not going to hold it with 43s and 60s. That's not what he did to get there. So I was shocked at how poorly Anderson played once Van Gerwen caught up. It was kind of weird. It was like almost like he got caught up watching Van Gerwen instead of just playing the board, playing his darts, and getting on with it. So I don't know. I was rooting for. I must say I was rooting for Anderson. I mean, there's something about Van Gerwen that rubs me the wrong way. All the look after every shot. I mean, it's like, dude. I mean, you've thrown ton 80s before. You threw one the last leg. I'm not sure that he is. I don't know that the crowd's going to respond to that for the next 10 years.
Okay.
The way guys kind of like go, they can't see it on the camera. They kind of go point when they have a ton 80, they go get their darts.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there are 600 some ton 80s in this tournament.
Right.
I mean, you're going to do a touchdown dance after every one. You're going to sprain an ankle at some point, right? So I don't know. I was just sort of like, I don't know. At some point, you get tired of it. He did throw a lot of ton 80s, so I mean, do something different at least.
Right.
So what are we?
Quarterfinals.
Now we're in the quarterfinals were great darts.
Yeah.
Especially the next two matches were great darts. Now Peter Wright getting through Wes Newton was a strange match because Newton played so well and then would follow it up with really mediocre legs.
Okay.
I mean, he didn't consistently play great darts, but he played great darts at the right time where, he kept getting ahead, and then Wright would catch up, and then he would get ahead, and then Wright would catch up and go ahead, and then Newton would catch up, taking out 170s, taking out 164s to win sets when the other guy's on a finish. I mean, it was the most dramatic fifth legs of any match. It wasn't as compelling as the Michael Smith-Peter Wright match from the earlier round because Wright and Smith played so well from leg one to the final leg. But, this match packed all the good darts like in the fifth legs and stuff. So it was, in that sense, if you're going to go looking for highlights, this is a match that you definitely have to see. I was... I don't know what to say about Wes Newton. I mean, he looks so contorted.
Okay.
He looks, and then it looks like I pointed this out to you, as he's throwing, he's leaning over even further. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do that, right? I mean, it works for Henderson, but Webster was doing the same thing. Webster looked to me like, well, I don't know.
You're not supposed to throw a football like Phillip Rivers, but he's successful.
Well, as long as you do it the same way every time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like if you're going to be like leaning imperceptibly as you're throwing, I don't know how you time that. I don't know how much time you're going to... Yeah, I don't know how much extra time you're going to need to time that out. Like John Henderson, we were talking about the rocking.
Right.
You don't play 8 hours a day. I don't know how that's going to be there every day. You know what I mean? As far as like, throwing darts on a consistent level. But and then the other one that day that was really good was Ian White and Simon Whitlock.
Getting past Ian White.
Yeah, and I don't even know what to say about that. I mean... I came away from this tournament. Remember last year we were all about John Bowles and how great John Bowles looked, and nobody had heard of him, but look how solid he is in there, and look at his composure and look at his bottle. That was Ian White for this entire tournament. I mean, Ian White was like so steady and so focused and so singularly kind of within his own little bubble where nothing seemed to faze him, and he was one of the, 2 or 3 guys that was consistently throwing great. I mean, him and Peter Wright threw better than anyone else in the first 3 rounds.
Okay.
They were the most consistent, and they had like the highest averages of anybody. And to Whitlock's credit, Whitlock goes into this match, hadn't even lost a set, falls behind and manages to pull it out in the end with some, great darts down the stretch. And that's what champions do. When push comes to shove, they're the guys that you cannot push off the cliff. They're
Right.
hanging on by their fingernails.
Sure.
They grab that, piece of grass and use it like a rope, and you just can't get rid of them. That's what I thought we would see from Taylor in that Michael Smith match that never materialized, right? But to Simon's credit, Simon won a great match there. We got what? What do we got? We got 2 more top 8s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got
let me see
MVG
what we
beat
got
Mark
here.
Webster 5-3.
Yeah, and this, I don't know what to say about Mark Webster. I mean, Mark Webster goes into this match, and basically Van Gerwen played so good that Webster was just sort of like, what do you want me to do about it? And he finally wins a set, and he goes to the crowd, or wins a leg, and eventually a set, goes to the crowd like, hey, look, I won one, hey. I mean, it was just sort of like somewhat embarrassing to be a professional up there and be like, there's
can
no way
see
I
that
can beat this
happening,
guy.
though,
I don't want to see that. Even if it's true, I mean, being there pitching.
Yeah. But
I mean,
you
do you
know.
see baseball pitchers applauding guys who hit home runs? I mean, they didn't do it for Barry Bonds. They just walked him. But, I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, you don't root for the guy that's beating your pants off. You know what I mean? I mean, I just found it as being
To an extent,
mentally
but, I mean-
bizarre. I don't know what to make of that. I don't know what to make of Mark Webster, to be honest with you. I mean, I know he's been struggling with dartitis and this, that, and the other thing and whatever. I mean, he has a simple stroke. It doesn't look like it needs a lot of maintenance. He plays good in stretches, but he just mentally never seemed to be confident in this tournament. And maybe it's because he's been struggling for 18 months or whatever. So maybe you'll see a better Mark Webster now in 2014. Maybe he'll finally be like, hey, I can do this.
I've got
kind
it
of thing.
right, yeah.
Because to be honest with you, the one thing, and we'll talk about the rest of these matches. We're gonna have to take another break. The one thing that you really notice with these guys is, as the tournament progressive, is who's throwing with the most confidence. It's Lewis and Van Gerwen. Peter Wright, I'm not sure he had confidence, but he doesn't play like he's confident. He just plays like somebody who's like in the middle of a good book and doesn't want to put it down. He's just like, just throw it, get it, come back. Not a lot of horse hockey pucky with the crowd or
Right.
anything. And Ian White was kind of the same way, and I really enjoyed watching those guys. So, all right, are we on the semis? Yet, or
No, real quick. We got
one more?
Adrian
What do we
Lewis
got here?
beating James Wade 5-1. So there's really probably not much to talk about this one.
Yeah, well,
He
and here's
waxed
the thing, because they announced the Premier League and they gave James Wade a bye and said, you know what, you can skip the Premier League. And he put out a statement. We'll read it, I guess, when we talk about the Premier League, which maybe will be next week because we're already up close to an hour.
We'll see what happens.
We haven't even done Darter of the Year.
No.
God, these matches are... It's not like we're taking that much time with each match. Anyway, James Wade goes up there, and Lewis is basically, hitting pretty much everything he's aiming at. And, Wade is just, he's in there pitching, and he just doesn't look like somebody who wants to be there. And, maybe there's personal animosity between the two, and he doesn't want to lose, but he just doesn't strike me as being a guy that should be playing. He just doesn't look like he's all there. Like Carlos Marmol or something, just walking everybody.
He still made it to
Like-
the quarterfinals.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, as messed up as he appears, there's only like a couple of guys that can beat him.
Yeah.
So, his argument that he should be in the Premier League is kind of like, I was trying to, explain this to, some people. I'm like, look, the Premier League's an exhibition. I mean, who wants to see somebody who's up there miserable that, you want to see somebody trying to grind out
Right.
rent money? You want to see a performance, right? When you go to a theater, you want to see somebody going through the motions, or you want to see somebody who's really into
True.
it? I mean, it's an
I can see that,
obvious
yeah.
kind of question, right? And,
Yeah, you have to take what the event is, not necessarily the snub.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm surprised that Phil Taylor doesn't beg off. I mean, if it looks to me like Taylor was kind of burned out. There's something happened when Van Gerwen beat him so bad, whatever that last tournament was, like 6 weeks before the Worlds. I'm like, you know what? This is going to be bad because he had been playing so well. You can only play so well for so
Right.
long. Everyone's going to go through lulls,
Yeah.
and you don't want your lull to be, in the end of December at the Alley Pally.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because it kind of ruins everything else you've done. So now, Van Gerwen's number one. I don't know what Taylor's going to do. I mean, he's got two choices. Either he works even harder than he already works to try to raise the level of his game yet again. I mean, if I was him, I'd probably be like, you know what, I need 3 months off.
Yeah, take a break and
How do you get to Aruba?
Right.
Anyway, we'll take our last break. Right. We'll be back. We'll finish this up. You're listening to Dart Talk with Mystery Mark, Steve Ponziella, and we'll be right back.
The views and opinions expressed on Dart Talk are those of the hosts. They in no way should be misrepresented, misinterpreted, or made to claim that the universe is against you, your family, your city, or the darting community at large.
Okay, back for the fourth quarter, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
DartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks, Windy City Fabricators, Redwood Darts.
Of course.
Tim Adams, who was with us earlier, is in the chat room if you guys want to hit him up and say hi and call him the sweeper, semi-sweeper,
Please.
whatever. Dustpan, I don't know.
The so close to sweeping sweeper?
I don't know. Felt kind of silly about that whole deal. Where are we? Are we on the semis?
We are on the semis.
3 more matches to go. What do we got? What was the
Peter
first
Wright
semi?
wins 6-2 over Simon Whitlock.
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe that performance, except Whitlock was convinced he was going to lose after about a leg and a half. I mean, Whitlock
that quickly.
The guy did not look well. For one, he wasn't. He started off kind of searching for the triple, and he'd find it, lose it, find it, lose it, find it, lose it, and you could see him searching for it. He's so direct the way the camera picked him up when he's throwing. You can really, he's one of the guys that's very easy to see what he's doing. Mm-hmm. And he would throw it harder, and he would throw it softer, and he would try to get it, over the top, and then he'd, I'll go for cover shots, and nothing worked. And Peter Wright was just like so straight and so relaxed and played at this pace that I used to play at, and I was kind of like, man, when did I stop doing this? Because what Peter Wright would do, and one of the things that really helped him when he played Whitlock, because Whitlock's a quick player, he's a rhythm player, he likes to play fast. Wright would bring the dart up and just come to a complete stop, just for a beat or 2 beats, and then he would throw it, and he would do it the same way every time, and Whitlock would get to the line, and he'd throw his 3 darts, and then there'd be Wright, boom, boom. And of course, that's even more annoying when they go in.
Yeah.
And Wright played, spectacular darts. And again, the guys from leg one to the end of the match, the guy's averaging 100. And I was thinking about this because I'm not a mathematician. I mean, I asked this dude in Scandinavia to do some math for me a long time ago when we were doing that Nepitz stuff. I don't know if that was before you came on the show.
I think it was
not.
before. I don't.
Those Nepitz
I do not
algorithms
recall.
and stuff that
no,
he calculated for me.
No.
But here's the thing, because everybody's talking about statistics, and we'll talk about the Van Gerwen Adrian Lewis match really quickly. Like, Adrian Lewis missed a couple of doubles and got wiped out.
Yeah. It wasn't much of a
And,
match.
They're talking about, they're comparing statistics, and they're like, well, the only person that can beat Van Gerwen is Peter Wright, because Peter Wright's averaging 100, and Van Gerwen's kind of like, well, he's below 100 for the tournament, and I'm thinking, what match are you watching? Van Gerwen could average 110 if somebody would push him. Mm-hmm. I mean, Van Gerwen would start out throwing like 12s and 13s and 11s and 13s and 12s and 11s, and then people would just like literally fall apart. And he'd be like, oh, well, okay. And then he'd start, like, I don't know, figuring out, what he's going to buy
What
his
he's gonna
girlfriend
have
with
for
the
lunch.
winnings.
Yeah.
And oh, yeah, okay, he's catching up. 11. Well, I'm ahead again. A new car.
Yeah.
Maybe red. No, red gets too many tickets. Boom, ton 80. No, I know, black. She'll like black. I mean, it was obvious. And so, come the final, I can't. Somebody was asking me, what I thought, and I'm like, Wright's going to have to score better. Because when it comes to the statistics and stuff, I thought here was my take on it.
Well,
everything.
statistics can be misleading,
Well,
as always.
if all you do is go by the statistics,
Yeah.
they're going to be misleading. You need to know how they were generated and kind of what went behind them. You can't just look at the statistics that they publish for one of these matches and treat it like a box score.
Right.
Where a box score, if you're astute, you know exactly what happened in the game, in a baseball game. I mean, you can figure out almost pitch by pitch. Not quite, but close. Here's the deal. And here's the thing that people need to take away from this World Championship that just concluded. Do we have the last score? Let's get the last score.
We never really said.
and-
But Van Gerwen won 6-0 over Adrian Lewis.
Yeah.
And then your final
Yeah, let's get the final here.
is
What was
right
the final?
there.
Okay.
No, not there.
Okay, well, that's what...
There
okay.
it is.
Wow, there's a lag.
There's a lag.
From you to me.
There it is.
All right, so there's the final. Van Gerwen won 7-4, which is pretty much where the money was, although he was up 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what everybody needs to take away from this championship, in my opinion, is if you look at any of the Taylor victories 5, 6, 7 years ago, Taylor was the only guy that consistently scored 100. And what Taylor would do is, I would say 4 out of 5 legs, after 9 darts, Taylor would be at like 170, 167, 160, 179. And he would, he'd throw like, 100 something. And then after 12 darts, he'd be like under 80 with very makeable 15 dart legs, which, 15 dart leg translates to 100 average, right? So you get a 15, a 14, and a 16, and you're right around 100. That's not what Van Gerwen's doing. Van Gerwen, after 9 darts, is consistently under 130. So Van Gerwen is throwing really easy 15 darters because he's got a margin for error.
Right.
He's getting 3. He's on 13 darters, so he gets 3 darts to make it a 15, and he's giving himself whacks at 12 darters every other leg, every third leg. Right? Well, if he's under pressure, he hits them.
Yeah.
That's what he did this entire tournament. When
Right.
he was under pressure and he needed a big out, he would hit it. Right? What was the one match where he started out with 3 ton-plus outs? I think...
Which one?
I can't remember which match that was.
I don't remember.
And it was just sort of... Oh, that was against Webster.
Oh, okay.
He like a 121, a 124, and a 139. And he didn't even need them.
And he hit him.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
hit him. So boom, boom, boom. It's like, okay, if you're playing a guy who's capable of that,
Yeah.
everybody needs to score better. And the only guys that are really capable of scoring as well as Van Gerwen right now is Adrian Lewis and Gary Anderson and Phil Taylor. And, Gary Anderson, should have won. Should have beat him.
Right.
Adrian Lewis, I don't know what happened to him mentally.
Well, you shouldn't have beat him. They lost 6-0.
Well, yeah. What happened with Adrian is basically Adrian, unfortunately, is so good that he's not used to throwing a single dart at a double under pressure, leg after leg after leg after leg, and that's what Van Gerwen did to him, and he would miss. So I'm trying to think, the first 15 legs, Van Gerwen won 11 of them, but Lewis beat him to the double in more than half those legs.
Really?
I think
Really?
the first 15 legs, Lewis beat him to the double 10 or 11 times, but he missed it.
Yeah.
And again,
Could have been a different story.
Again, when you're on 90, or you're on 91, or you're on 101, and the other guy is on 40, every time you're being outscored by one triple, you know, it's going to show up. And if you can't compensate for it by being like Peter Wright, which up until the final, against Whitlock, I think he was like 60-some% on his doubles. He hit 7 in a row of the Trip 16. Finally, the announcers jinxed him, and he missed one.
Of course. Well, that
right?
always happens.
But if you can shoot, if you're 2 out of 3 on your doubles, you can make up for the fact that the other guy has an extra triple on you, right? But if you're only going to shoot 1 out of 3 on your doubles and you're getting outscored leg after leg, you're toast.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way you're going to win that way. And, finishing always beats scoring.
Well, of course.
Unless you're getting outscored so bad that the other guys, if I finish at 50 and you finish at 33%, but you get 3 times as many darts at doubles, I'm going to end up getting killed.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I took away from this thing is like nobody scored as well as Van Gerwen did, and nobody seemed to score at will the way Van Gerwen did, and no one threw with as much confidence as Van Gerwen did, especially once Phil got out. Once Phil was out, I think Van Gerwen was just sort of like, this is my coronation.
Tournament.
Yeah, and nobody talked him out of it. And I wasn't really, I liked the way Peter Wright played this whole tournament, and I had no confidence he was going to win. And not that he's not a great player, it was just like the way Van Gerwen was winning, even though, his statistics may have been like a little bit less than Peter Wright's, there was absolutely no way on earth that Peter Wright was going to beat him unless Peter Wright scored better than he had through the entire tournament, and I don't know how you can do that. I don't know, if you're scoring consistently, this, you're going to up it by 20% for the final. I mean, I don't see that happening. That's like Villanova
It's not
against
very easy
Georgetown,
to do. Yeah,
right? All of a sudden they shot
78%.
70%. Yeah. I mean, you're going to have like some magical day, then, you can't be stopped.
Right, exactly.
We didn't do Darter of the Year, and we didn't do Jackwagon of the
Well,
Year.
I'll do Dart of the Year real quick.
We're already...
Oh.
No. We'll do it next week.
All right.
We're going to have to do it next week. I mean, there's no way.
All
right, so next week, we're going to have a big announcement.
Woohoo!
We're going to do Jackwagon of the Year. We're going to do Darter of the Year. And we're going to talk about the Ray Chesney. For you people that don't know, the Diddle Tour starts next weekend.
All right.
In Philadelphia at the Ray Chesney. Apparently, there's some sort of people couldn't find the flyer. If anybody wants to post it on the Dart Talk Facebook page, we will charge you absolutely nothing. If you want to put your flyer, if you got a tournament flyer and you want to put it up somewhere and you don't want to pay the ADO, put it on the Dart Talk Facebook page. No charge. I just saw something right before we came on the air where it's like the ADO won't post a flyer on their website unless you pay them money. I just think that that's a disservice to darters.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
the
I
ADO
agree.
wants to make
Yeah.
themselves relevant. Put it on your
Right.
webpage. How much does it cost to click your mouse 4 times?
Right.
Honestly, are you kidding me? Jackwagons. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening. We will be back. Now we're off Thursdays now, right? What are we back
to Wednesdays.
All right, so we're going to be back to Wednesdays.
Yes.
We're going to stay
At 8 o'clock.
At 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. So Mystery Mark has time to actually get here from work and take a shower because he sweats.
Yes, I do.
What else we got? Anything? Any other announcements? Well, we're going to have a big announcement next week that people are not going to want to miss. We'll promise you that, and that we will do right off the bat at the beginning of the show. So there will be no
There'll be no chance
do-overs.
of
no chance of
no
us
chance
not
of
getting
not
to
doing
it.
it.
And we will do Darter of the Year, and we will do Jackwagon of
Yes.
the Year,
next week.
and we're not rescinding the performance
No,
of the year.
no.
Right? Even though, be honest, I mean,
There's-
because the sweep was the thing.
There
I mean,
could
it's
always
still
be a
great.
glitch, though. Yeah,
It was still a great
right.
performance.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean,
Right. We got some bad intel, but that's what we went with, and we're not going to rescind it.
these unpaid interns. I don't know what we're going to do.
It's just
We're going to have to go to like the local.
we still respect the accomplishment.
Yeah, the sweeper. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining us today, Tim Adams. I guess he's still in the chat room. We'll hang out in the chat room for a little while, but we're going to wrap the show up. Thanks everybody for listening. If you need dart stuff, go to thedartzone.com, order away. And if you have any questions, you can email darttalk@gmail.com. If you're having problems finding the show, just go to darttalk.us. We have links to everything. We have links to Twitter. We have links to iTunes, Stitcher.com, TuneIn.com, our YouTube archive. Also, if you just come to Ustream.tv and come to our channel, you can always catch last week's show. It's up there now.
There
So
you go.
if you come if you come early and we're not broadcasting, you'll get last week's show until we actually pop on, in case you guys don't know that. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening, and we will Dart Talk to you next week. Okay, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.